So we are live now. Good evening, Ms. Ngozi. Good evening, our
Good
wonderful
evening.
audience. Today, yeah, today we are going to discuss on a very important topic known as social media management, and I believe this is a very, crucial topic in as much as today is concerned. A lot of us are into business. A lot of us are into branding and the rest, and we can't really succeed without having the knowledge or using social media, because we know that today world is being ruled, is a world of social media. And for we to really get out there to show ourselves, we need to know how to use this tool. So today is gonna be a very interesting session where we get to learn from a special speaker by name Ngozi Obi. So please join me as I welcome Ngozi Obi on the stage to please share insight on this. Thank you very much. You're welcome, ma.
All right, so thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Thank you to the team Impact Drive for putting this together. I really appreciate, and I'm honored to be in your presence, to be honest. So thank you so much. So yes,
You're welcome, ma.
thank you. My name is Ngozi Obi, and I am actually a graduate of management and accounting from Obafemi Awolowo University. And aside that, I'm a social media manager. And when Miss Rane reached out to me regarding this, so she was like, I should share more insights about what it takes to be a social media manager. And I am actually here to do that. So I I was given a particular time frame, and I hope to actually be on time, like cover everything I have within that particular time frame. But if for any reason you can't hear me at some point, so please just signify, and then I have to just repeat myself as well. All right, so today's word, everything, just like Mr. Joseph said right now, literally the whole world is on social media. At least most of the Gen Z that you know are currently on social media. Maybe not much of our parents, but our age bracket right now is on. We are practically on social media. We are posting, we are loving most of the updates we get. I'm sure many of us, we don't get to see our updates, like news updates on, we don't watch CBC, we don't watch NTA anymore. All we just want to do is like, if we are able to log on to Twitter, we'll see the latest happening. Okay, what is happening in Nigeria? What is currently happening in the US? Everything is just being transmitted through social media at the moment. So now, what is this social media management about? So I have here that social media management is the process of helping a person or a business use social media intentionally to attract the right people, build trust with them, and eventually turn them into customers. Now, I have three major things within that definition. Now, the first one is attract. That means you want people to start paying attention to what you are doing on social media. Now, the second key thing in that definition is building trust with them. That means not only do you want them to start believing in what you're saying, in your products, in your services, you want them to actually like stay glued to you, to your brand and what you have to offer. And then the last one is turning them to customers. So at the end of the day, you want your 500,000 followers, you want 1 million followers, you want all those 200, 500 number of followers to move from the point of following you to now start paying you for your product or services. So right now, you see that there is a huge importance of social media in our today's world, because even somebody that is selling clothes right now does not just stick to only maybe having a shop in a particular market. They use social media to communicate, any social media of their platform. Anything you literally want to see right now is on social media. like when they tell you something about a new brand, one of the first things that comes to your mind is, let me go and check it out on social media. Let me see if they are on social media. Then you check out Instagram, you check out Twitter and Facebook and the likes of it. So at the moment right now, you cannot underestimate the value of social media in our present economy or in our today's world at the moment. So if you are the kind of person that you are probably still thinking that nah, social media is not for me, I would rather be, stay glued to my, some of us will say it's WhatsApp. Well, WhatsApp is just like your friends and family now. You understand? So you be like, oh, I'd rather just stay on my own. I don't want to put my life out there and the rest. It's not bad, but most of the time you are doing yourself more harm than good. Now, initially, before I became a social media manager, I I used to be one of those people. Person I just described, like right now, I used to be all those kind of people where I feel like, let me just stick to my WhatsApp. Let me not do Instagram. Let me not do Facebook. Who cares about LinkedIn and the rest? So I was literally that kind of person. Just in my own cubicle. Let me just be there. You understand? But eventually I started posting on Instagram. Of course, go out with friends, I'll post and have one particular thing like this, maybe I'm something I'm proud of, I'll put it out on Instagram. But then before I started being this social media manager per se, I used to have some kind of misconception, like myths about social media that I'm about to share with us. And you might actually fall into one or two of these categories of what you think about social media. Now, the first one is you think that social media is just for posting, and that was it for me too. Like, okay, oh, I went out with friends today. Probably we went to Domino's Pizza or we went to go and take ice cream. I know we want to just show the world, pepper them gang and the rest. And the first thing that comes to mind is like, okay, let's post it on Facebook. Meanwhile, Facebook used to be like my major social media platform, my go-to platform. I didn't used to like Instagram. I was till today I am literally not on Twitter too. You understand? So I don't like the platform for anything. But it was always Facebook for me. So I'll go on Facebook and then I'll post like, okay, chilling out with friends and the rest. So many of us, that is how we use social media. We don't see it as something that can literally like give us money. It's just okay, let's go and post the latest. Oh, went out with friends and family, vacation 2026, summer 2025, and then you just want to go there and post. So that was one misconception that many of us literally have. We feel like social media is just for posting, just post what is going on in your life. Then the second myth about social media many of us actually think about is that anyone can do it. You feel like, okay, social media management, I don't feel like it's hard. I used to be in that category as well. So I like compared to other skills, compared to when you learn skills like email marketing, when you learn skills like website development, when you learn skills like app development. When people now say, "Oh, you can actually do social media as a skill," one of the things that comes to your mind is that I don't feel like I need to learn it. I can literally just, it's not posting. I can just post. Anybody can literally do it. I was like that as well too. Like social media, give it to me. But then when other people are talking about website, I think about it that okay, how long is it going to take me to learn website? Am I going to dedicate a whole month towards learning website? Am I going to dedicate 6 months towards learning app development? That was what I felt like. I felt like in when ranking skills of importance, I always felt like it was social media should be it shouldn't be among the ranking. You understand? Because literally anyone should be able to do social media management. Now, another misconception we have about social media is it is not a career. It is not a real career thing. When you go out and you meet like your fellow people, everybody is like, um, I'm an app developer, and you're like, wow, that's cool, that's awesome, that's a lot of money. And somebody was like, oh, I'm a website developer. Yeah, like, my boss, I greet you, you're doing great. And then somebody is like, I'm doing social media management, and you're like, what is that? What's that? And you're like, is that even a thing? That's the first question that comes to your mind. Like, why will you actually focus on social media? It's not Instagram, all of us are posting on. I've been seeing on Facebook, all of us are watching reels on. I've been TikTok. Let me just start dancing on TikTok, and all of us will be getting likes and the rest. So you don't actually see it as something that it's worth investing your time into, or something that you can literally focus on as a full-time career. You don't see it in that light as well. And then the last misconception about social media I have here is that you feel like you need to be viral to actually succeed in social media, and which is not really the case. You understand? There are so many companies out there that it's not like people know them, but the small population of people that know them are doing justice for them through that social media. So you don't need to like have a million followers before you say that, oh, social media is now working for you, or before you claim that, okay, I need to invest my all in social media. No, you don't need something like that. So now, if we've actually established that there are some misconceptions about social media, what will you now say is the role of a social media? What will you now say that these are the things that a social media manager is supposed to do? Now, the first one is can you see hear me? Start yourself.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, all right. So now, the very first
I
thing
can
that
hear you
is
clearly.
all right, thank you. The very first thing that a social media manager should actually do, or what is it that social media managers actually do? The first one is that the first thing is that they tend to understand a business. Now, anytime I am on a call with a particular client or any client at all, the very first thing I am doing is, what is this client about? Who do they serve? What problem are they trying to tackle? Because if you don't even understand the business, if you don't understand the individual or the particular client that you are speaking to, you're going to mess up their social media. You're going to mess up their accounts. You understand? So the first thing that, because most of the time we have so much knowledge, and when we get on the call with a particular client, one of the first things that starts coming to your mind is, oh, I want to upload all I know about social media on the client. And then you forget that there is an aspect where you're supposed to listen, you're supposed to actually take notes of what this client is about. Ask questions, like ask reasonable questions, like what is your business about? If you have to use social media, what are your expectations of social media? What problem are you trying to tackle as far as your business is concerned? So now the very first thing a social media manager has to do is business understanding. What does your client want? Now, the second thing is content planning. Now, you've understood the business. Now, they've explained all that the business has, like the problem the business is supposed to solve. Now, the next thing is like, okay, how can I put out content that was actually supposed, like, what type of content am I supposed to put out? When am I supposed to put out this particular content? Am I supposed to, based on the content I'm putting out, based on what they want? Am I putting out content on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, or is this something I'm supposed to be doing 3 times in a particular day? On Monday, you have to put out content for morning, afternoon, evening, or is this something I'm supposed to be doing daily? Monday, I have to put out plan content for Monday, plan content for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, just like that. So you need to know, okay, what am I supposed to do after you've understood the business? Now, the second one, sorry, the next one is content creation. Now, when you're now talking about content creation, we are talking about you, like the caption, the copyright itself, you writing something that speaks to the audience. And aside you writing that particular thing, you're also
Yes.
putting- in your content creation, you're also considering graphics as well, graphics design. Now, when you go on some platforms, there are sometimes that you tend to even see the graphics even before you read the caption associated with that particular post. Now, some of it is LinkedIn. When you go on LinkedIn, most of the time you see the picture first before you start reading the caption. You will literally see about one or two lines of the caption, but most of what takes the bulk of that post is usually the graphics. Same thing as Instagram. Instagram, you will definitely see the graphics first before you actually start seeing the the caption. So you want to make sure that as a social media manager, you are skilled with design. You understand the basic elements of design. You understand what it means using when it comes to design, using fonts. You understand? You're not supposed to use way too many fonts on a particular design. You're supposed to understand font hierarchy. You're supposed to understand the use of colors. You know, sometimes when you look at some people's designs and it's looking like there's so many colors on this particular design that it's affecting your eyes, it's giving you some mental problem as well. So you need to understand, okay, what am I supposed to put on a particular design? Because most of the time you tend to see the graphic even before you read the caption. Now, if the graphic or the particular picture that you design, it's not appealing to the eye. Most of the time, people shun away from the content. You understand? You can think to yourself that how many times have you seen some graphic that you just scroll past? And the reason you're scrolling past it is because what you are seeing, you do not like it. So you are not ready to consume the other content of it, which is the caption. So even if you see a carousel that it's not looking nice, like the colors, the weddings, the fonts, everything is just putting somehow in the eyes. Most of the time, you will want to skip it because it's like it's giving you a lot of affecting your eyes in a way. So you want to make sure that you understand like the, at the very the basics of design, all the basic elements that actually goes into designing. Now, another thing a social media manager does is scheduling posts and engaging. You know, so you want to get familiar with some scheduling posts. Not many clients will actually give you access to their Instagram or Facebook and other platforms that they use. I personally, if I am not doing engagement for you, I prefer not to have access to your accounts. You understand? So you need to know some other scheduling posts and sorry, scheduling tools so that you'll be able to post for the clients using those tools. Now, some of those tools include like Buffer, Social Bee, Metrocool, Later. There are many of these, Hootsuite, and there are just so many. You understand? And a couple of them are actually free, but then there are some clients that they go with the ones that are also paid plans so that they can always pay for it and then use. So whichever rocks their boat actually. So I don't really impose anyone on anybody. But if it's like, oh, you don't really get money, I'll definitely recommend um tools like Buffer for you so that you don't have to pay extra for you. So aside scheduling this post, you can also carry out some engagements as well on their platform. So on this, their engagement is that they don't want to be the one commenting. They don't want to be the ones, putting out the DMs in other people's um inbox. So they employ social media managers that will actually do all those things for them because engagement on its own is a very taxing job to do. So you're looking at other people's posts and then you're commenting on them like, oh, I love this post. This is what I think about. So you're speaking like the client that ordered you. You understand? So that is why you really need to understand the client as well, so that it doesn't look like you're not saying things based off your own perspective. You're saying things based off on the business or the client's perspective, especially when they are engaging. Now, another thing that is a social media manager will actually do is something we call community engagement. Now, some of these clients they actually do have communities beyond. Some of them have it in their social media on their social media platform. You understand? That's where you see things like having a group. You understand? But other people, they have like communities. They have communities beyond just the social media platform. You understand? So there is this particular one I came across, which is Seco. So there's this other one that is actually like school. So what you do there is that you tend to connect with the people they have on their community, and then they give you instructions on what to do. It could be like commenting, engaging, sending DMs to them. Whatever it is that they told you to actually do, that is what you'll be doing. Now, another thing that a social media manager actually does, and which is very important, is something we call analytics and reporting. So now, let's say you've been actually posting for a particular client every month. It gets to a point where you have to like sit and check like the back end of your platform. Let's say you are using Instagram. You now check, okay, did this post perform well? Did we get more engagement? So it's like you're looking at what is working and what is not working. And this skill is actually this particular thing, analytics and reporting is actually very critical of every social media manager, because you need to understand the numbers. So it's one of the most important things, because you really need to understand the numbers, like what is working is once you get out the things that are working, you're supposed to now implement it in the coming months. And the things that are not working, you're supposed to like scrap it off. Like, okay, this particular thing is not literally working for my clients at the moment. So let me just do away with it. So most of the time, if possible, you can do your analytics the, the moment you start, like let's say you just got a client now, you can check out their analytics immediately. Like, okay, let me check out what has been working for them so far. And then after you've worked with them for like a month, check out the results too and compare. Is it that it's now worse off since they employed you, or is now better off since they've employed you? So if it is better off since they employed you, all right, good job, keep going, fire on. But then if it is worse off since they employed you, then there's a problem. That means the strategy you are using, it is not good, and you need to actually like touch up on it. You understand? So those are some of the things that a social media manager should actually do. But then there are some other skills that makes one a great social media manager. Now the first one is consistency. Now social media as a social media manager, you are somebody that you need to be showing up every single day, every single time. You understand? It is not a kind of skill or job that you ghost on. It's not a kind of skill or job that you actually ghost on. Every single day, every single time, are you supposed to post? You're supposed to post. You post when you're supposed to post. Yeah, you engage when you're supposed to engage. You schedule the content that you're supposed to schedule. It's not every time your clients will be like, oh, where have you been? And then all those excuses that we give to people like, oh, I've been sick and the rest. No, it is not that kind of thing. So if you're the kind of person that you're always ghosting, maybe they'll see you today and after 2 weeks they can't see you again, then it is not ideal for you as a social media manager. Then the second one is other skills is communication. Now, social media is that kind of skill where you need frequent updates from time to time. This is what is working. This is what I figured out. This is something that we can try. Your client needs to be hearing that we are actively working on their project every single time. Communication is key. Even aside social media, actually, communication is actually key with other skills, because you can't tell me that I am working for you or we are engaged in some sort of partnership and somehow you I don't get feedback from you. Now, if those feedback I'm supposed to use in working, so if I am not getting those feedback from you, I don't see any reasons why we should proceed. So even if you are not the chatty type, you have to make it work. You understand? And communication is not like, it's not something that you be like every single day per se. It's more like I'm giving you, it's more like I'm actually giving you update, like, okay, can you guys hear me? All right, it's something like, okay, like now, if there's this particular client that I work with, and then I tend to give her update like 2 days interval. Like, okay, this is what I did, and this is what I will be doing in the next few days or in a couple of hours. So by the next In the next couple of days, she's expecting that I will give her an update based on what I did the previous day. So it's not something that you are going quiet about. So I did A, B, and C today. But then in the next couple of days, I will do D, E, and F. So when it gets to that particular period, I am reporting on those things that I have done, those D, E, and F. And even if I did not meet up to F, I will actually explain that okay, only able to do D and I was able to do E. But you see F like this, just give me in the next couple of hours and then I will do something about it. Now another thing, another skill about to make you a great social media manager is adaptability. Now, things change, platform change. There's always an update in features or a platform or even their own industry as well. So you need to be able to adapt to whatever changes is coming. You understand? So you don't want to be that kind of social media that others have already moved past it. Like others already know that, oh, on LinkedIn, oh, this is what is currently working on LinkedIn. But you are still using the old method of what is working on LinkedIn. Do you understand? So you want to be up to date. So if possible, you always be watching, you go on YouTube, you always be watching like the latest with you, what is the latest that's going on LinkedIn, what is the latest that's going on with Instagram and the rest. So you want to be able to adapt and of course adapt to your client's business as well. So then the next thing is strategic thinking. So you want to be creative as a social media manager. So it's not every time it's like, oh, it has to be very, very rigid. What can you come up with? Of course, not something that will be detrimental, but what can you think of that once you actually pull it up on social media, it can help the client, it can help your clients grow, it can help their business, you can be able to scale their business. So it's not every time you have to be doing the norm. Sometimes think of something, research. What are people doing right now? What can I add to my client's business? What creative idea can I bring to my client's business that will actually make a difference for my clients now? Now, another thing that can now okay, the mindset behind a great work as a social media manager. Mr. Joseph, can you see any? So the mindset behind a great
Yeah, I can
work.
hear you. Can you hear
So there's this mindset you need to have once you said okay, I want to go into the digital space and I want to become a social media manager. Now there are a couple of things that you need to think and every now and then it should be at the back of your mind. Now the first one is that think like the audience, not the brand. Now if you are making a post for people, when you want to post, think about the people consuming your post, not what you feel like, not what you think like. Like put yourself in the shoes of your audience. Would they like this post? This thing I'm about to put out, does it make a difference to them? Does it help them? Does it solve a problem for them? Otherwise, it's going to just be like you're posting and there's nothing like you're just posting for the sake of posting. So you need to think about the audience first. Now, if I claim to be like a chef, a master chef, and I have a social media platform that I'm working with. Now, what will be the first thing that I'm thinking of? I want to put out food that my clients, or rather the audience, are willing or will be happy to actually see. Not just any kind of thing, not just any house snacks. Based on what I'm doing, I need to put out things that once they see it like this, it will be appealing to them. They want to know more, they want to engage, they want to ask questions about it. So think about the audience, think about them in the receiving end. Now the next one is that own the results, not just the task. You know, it's like being accountable for your actions. If you did something, like let's say you put out one particular strategy, and that strategy, work. You understand? Be accountable to it. Like, okay, it's because of what I did that it not work. But at the same time, so if you put out something and it actually went very well and you did very great, your client's business is now booming and the rest. Yes, own it as well. So like, okay, it's all thanks to what I did. So they actually did it. Now, another thing is treat every client's business or brand like your own. You know how you take care of your things. You know how you want to make sure that, like, if it's your own social media page, you know the way you'll be carrying it like egg, like baby. You know, treat your clients like that because it does you more good than harm. You don't honestly trust me, you don't want to have negative feedback from a client, especially on the social media space. You understand? You want them to be able to refer you that, oh, you did a good job for me, oh, my account is now doing well. I'm now making lots of sales just because, oh, this person helps me to grow my Instagram account. And then you see them, they start looking out, like if they have friends, if they have family, they can literally refer you to them. Unlike when it's on when the roles are reversed and you did something terrible for them. Of course, you cannot even beg them for a referral. You cannot even beg them to tell their friends about you. Even you self, when you go, they fear like, ah, if I tell this person to help me refer to their friends and family like this, they feel actually swear for me. So you want to make sure that you are doing them well. Whatever it is that you said you are going to do for them, do it. Then, of course, stay curious, ask questions, research, do things that is supposed to help them. Never feel as a social media manager that you've learned all that you need to learn. You know, there is never an end to all these things. The same way that um, your clients they will actually want to make more sales. It's the same way the people that have Facebook and Instagram, they also want to make more sales. So they do things on their platform, they update their features, they update the platform just for them to actually make more sales. So get to know what is happening now. What have they added to Facebook that can make a difference for you? What have they done on Instagram or on Twitter that if you actually do this, it will help you much better. So now we've actually known what who a social media manager is, some skills that is required of a social media. Like the moment you say you want to go into a social media space like this, these are some basic skills that you can literally joke with. And the idea, like the mindset you need to have as a social media manager. Now, one of the questions that you can literally be asking right now is, let's say you've never made money on social media and you literally don't know where to start from. You don't, in short, you right now you're currently on zero, but you've always been looking at social media. You've actually been checking out some brand, and many people are doing well for themselves. Many people, you know, they are making money with social media, but you as a novice, you really want to start. So, how do you start? So how do you move from zero to becoming a hero on social media? Now, the very first thing is you want to decide where you want to build on. Like which social media platform do you want to establish yourself on? And there are so many, to be honest. We just really know the popular ones, but then there are actually some other ones that there are people there. There are people making money there. You know, there are some people that they know actually reach Instagram, they don't read Facebook, nothing like this. So all they really want to do, like they focus on those other small social media platforms, and then they make money from all those platforms as well. So you can be the one to sit down and research, like where do I want to grow as a social media manager? What platform? So you can do the research. There are so many, like there are literally so many social media platforms, and anywhere you go to, trust me, you will see people there. So now, once you've decided that, let's say you're going with Twitter or you're going with LinkedIn, you're going with Facebook, that is the first thing. Now, you will now choose a focus. Now, if if your focus is on everybody, you are literally not, you are selling to nobody. And what do I mean? Choose a niche. You are a social media manager, but for who? You are a teacher, but you deal with what social media, sorry, you deal with social studies, you deal with civic education. It's like you are known for a particular thing. You're a maths teacher, you're an English teacher. You understand? So yes, you're a teacher, but what kind of teacher are you? You're a lecturer, but where are you focused on? Where is your major focus on? So it's the same thing. You're a social media manager, but for what? For who? Who are you focused on? So now for someone like me, actually, I'm a social media manager and I focus on nutritionists alone. No, you can be the one like, okay, I want to be a social media manager, but who do I focus on? You want to focus on coaches? You want to focus on nutritionists? You want to focus on realtors? Do you want to focus on chefs? Like, do you want to focus on fashion brand? What is it that you want? And you're going to be the one to actually sit down and do that research. You want to make sure that everything that you're doing, that you are not just choosing it because oh someone else is doing it, because you don't even know the reason why the other person is doing it. Like now, if you say, oh, why am I doing nutrition is like this, you and all of a sudden you just want to do nutrition, you don't even know the reasons why I chose nutrition. So what is it that you want to do, and why do you want to actually focus on that? Now, trust me, you don't want to be everywhere. You don't want to be a social media manager without any specific niche. You want to have you need to have people that you are focusing on. You understand? And sometimes people will be like, oh, I don't want to focus on a specific people. I want everybody because I want to make more money. But trust me, you make more money being more niche down than being general. You understand? So pick a niche, pick a focus, pick a particular set of people that you want to market to. Then, once you've done that, set up your page. It does not make any sense that you claim to be a social media manager and yet your own page like this, though they're just wondering, like if a client sees your page like this, they're wondering, like, you sure this person is literally a social media manager? I doubt it. So, it, the same way you want to treat your client, you'll be like, oh, when I get my client, that's when I will actually like focus on my page. But no, it's the other way around. Focus on your page. Those things you plan to do for your clients, do it on your own page. Set up your Instagram very well. Design your post. Put out your captions very well. Run analytics on your own account as well, so that it doesn't look like you're learning on the job when you actually now see a particular client. So all those things that you want to do for a client, do it for yourself. And there is this will I call it bragging rights now, or will I say confidence? Let me just say confidence that comes with when you're actually talking to a client, and then the clients, you're telling them what you can do for them on social media. I can help you do good caption. I can help you do great design. I can do some analytics for you. I can set up your page in such a way that clients will be able to find you as well. Like there's a way when you see all those things and you're like, I also did it for myself, and they're looking at your page and they're like, okay, yeah, actually, I feel like this person can actually give me what they want because your page is now speaking for itself. So we don't want to come on your page and we are confused. We don't even know what you're doing per se. Like nothing on your page identifies you as a social media, or even if sorry, as a social media manager. And even if there's something that identifies you there, there is no enough proof. Like what we are really seeing, really gel. So those things that is expected of a social media manager, start doing it on your page as well. So then the next thing, of course, you set up your portfolio. Now, even if you've not done anything, no problem. Like you've not worked for a client before, that's fine. You understand? But now, think about it. If it's that you want to focus on nutritionists or you want to focus on realtors and the rest, start doing those things that a realtor will want to see on your portfolio. Like literally pick a design and do something, like redesign it, recreate it. And for every design, now, if it's that you take your time every single day to actually like do something in for realtors, like let's say design a caption or write a blog post for them for realtors. Now it makes a difference. You now start putting it up in your portfolio. You do a design, you put it in your portfolio. You do video editing. Yes, that's another thing too. Yes, you do some, put videos together, pull reels together, and then you keep it everything in your portfolio. Even if you are doing it for yourself, you can always show it to a client on the first day, like, oh, even if I've not worked with anybody, these are some of my work. Like these are some things I've taken the time to actually do for myself. So you show it to them. You do good videos like this. Like there's no way they will not actually want to keep communicating with you or keep finding any reasons to actually hire you. You write good blog articles like this, like let's say something about the real estate industry, sorry, and then they read it and then they're impressed. They know that okay, this is my guy. I feel like I should actually work with this person. You do a good design. You do good analytics that will tell that okay, this is something I did right. and this is something I do not do right, and put out recommendation. Definitely, this person or this particular client, if they are looking at it, they will want to actually work with you. So do it for yourself. Don't wait until you have a particular client or you see, oh, before they order you, before you now be like, oh, I want to take my life seriously. I want to start taking social media seriously. Do those things you plan to do for your client. Do it for yourself. And then another thing, when you've actually done all those things, you've decided where to build on, you've chosen a particular focus, you've been able to set up your page, stacking up your portfolio. Now, one of the things that you can actually start doing is reaching out to clients. When you've actually customized your platform to a particular niche, you start reaching out. Like, let's say you say you want to focus only on coaches. Now, what will happen is that, let's say LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, whatever it is that you've chosen, you can start reaching out to them. Connect with coaches all over the world, UK, US, um, Australia, any country. You understand? Connect with them, and once they connect back to you, pitch yourself. This is what I can do. I am this person, and this is what I can do. Send a portfolio, show them your sample, and then let them make a decision. Yes, it might not be so easy, but eventually you will see somebody that is impressed with what you are doing, and then you decide to actually take the conversation for them. Now, once you've gotten a client, now, of course, once you've done this and you've gotten a client, then how do you now deliver a good job as a social media manager? The first thing is onboard properly. Make sure that you've been able to set your expectations right. This is what I am doing, and the client is clear. You understand? If it's that I'm only posting 3 times for you in a week and I'm doing only engagement 2 times in a week, let them know so that it's not as if there is now some sort of miscommunication that the client you said is 3 days, client said it's 5 days, and then it's like there's now conflict of interest. Like, okay, this is what social media manager is saying, this is what clients is saying. On board them. Do you agree? This plus this plus this plus this is what we are doing. Are we good to go or not? You understand? So create that expectation and everybody is clear on what they are doing. Everybody is clear on their rules. Your roles are defined. You understand? It's not like you are supposed to do this and then the client is supposed to do this. Even the clients, you have some expectations from the client as well. So if it's that the client is supposed to be recording some videos and be sending to you, no problem. If it's that your own is only to give ideas to the client, no problem. Let everybody is clear on what they are supposed to do. Now the next thing is plan ahead. Like you don't want to be doing things on the crunch time. Like, okay, it's every day you're always on your toe. You're supposed to plan weeks ahead, if possible, months ahead soon. But then let's say weeks ahead, no problem. Plan that, okay, this is what, like this particular client that everything I'm supposed to do for her in the next month has been planned in the previous month. So if I mean we are currently in what? We are currently in April. So the April post has been created. Every single thing about April has been created in March. So anything I'm now working with is in April because everything I'm creating in April is now for me. So you want to, it's not like I'm waking up on a particular day in April and saying, oh, what am I supposed to post on this particular day? What am I supposed to post this morning? And you'll be ineffective at that moment. So plan ahead. Videos, plan it ahead, most especially videos, content, plan them ahead, and then schedule it. That is using those scheduling tools as well. So then next thing, communicate. I said it before, updates, feedback, whatever it is, every single time. You don't want the client to be asking you how far before you carry your phone and say, okay, I've done this, I've done that. It's stressing for them. Be the one always at the forefront saying, okay, this is what I have done. This is what I am here to do. This is what we've achieved. This is what we will never do again. And these are the things that we'll keep doing. So always communicate, always communicate. You understand? Then respect deadlines. If your client tell you that this is the day I want this to be delivered, do it at that particular time, and of course on or before that time or that day. Do everything. So because if I'm your client and every single time I say deliver something by Saturday, and by Saturday you're not delivering it, you're delivering it on Monday or Tuesday, it won't. Before you know it, once that month's contract is over, I don't think I want to come back to you because it's looking like you're not listening to me, and you don't value my time, and you're not respecting me as well. So if they say the time to do this is 6 p.m. so day, make sure that you are doing it exactly by that 6 p.m. on or before that 6 p.m. on that particular day. You understand? You don't want to be that kind of social media manager that, yeah, you don't value your clients' time because they are busy. Many of them are busy. You can imagine if you're working with big brands and the rest, like, respect their time. They have other things that are doing. Social media is just one part of it. So you want to make sure that everything they've told you to do and the time they've actually told you to do it, that is when you are doing it. Next thing, track and report results is the same thing as analytics. So communicate to them. This is what is working. This is not what is working. And don't be shy. Like, let them know. There's no need. There's no point in you telling them that the this post is doing well when you know it's not actually doing well. You are not serving anybody good if you keep telling them that it's doing well when it is not actually doing well. So when you tell them that it's not doing well, they can always, both you and as the social media manager and the client, can always re-strategize, like, okay, let's think of a way forward. Let's see what we can do to actually make this better. And lastly, there are sometimes even as a social media manager, things don't really go your way. Like, you make mistakes. You understand? I make mistakes as well. So, there's this particular time that I put out a post that I was not supposed to put out, and everything was just looking so messed up, and the client kept on, she complained. She has forgotten all the good I have done. Like, she just kept on complaining about that particular distance. So you will make mistakes, you understand. There are sometimes the clients will not even be happy with what you've done. So sometimes those mistakes are inevitable. So what do? You approach it gracefully. This is not the time to start shouting at the client that, you sure you don't know I'm stressed. Don't you know that, oh, it's because there was no NEPA light, and things are hard on my own part and the rest. You want to still, you know, talk to the clients respectfully in a calm voice, and apologize. Of course, after I apologized to, we continued our contract. Life goes on as well. So you don't want to, client is boiling, you said you're boiling, and it's like too hot head. You're now saying, I'll be the one to win this battle, and the rest. No, it doesn't really work like that. So please, if there is any time where you actually encounter that, okay, you've made a mistake, reach out to the client and express genuine apology. Tell them that you're really sorry about that, and if there was a reason why it happened, explain to them. They're also human; they understand as well. So, and then you actually vouch that this will never, ever, ever happen again. You understand? And you also make sure that it does not happen again. So, because they cannot keep forgiving you. They can't forgive you the first time and the second time, and the third time you will not hear back from them again. That might be the end of your contract. So becoming a social media manager, it's easy and not so easy at the same time, in the sense that, with once you've learned what you really need to learn, the journey becomes easy. Of course, from time to time, I was not really much of the whole social media manager like I explained initially, but constant exposure, asking questions, working with clients as well, having my own experiences as well, it has made the journey a little bit easier. Yes, that made it easier. You make money from it as well. So, and eventually, even if it was not your thing initially, it can literally become something for you. It can become something that makes you lots of money as well, especially if you put your mind to it. So yes, this is all I have for us regarding what it actually takes or to become a social media manager, and what the social media managers actually do. So thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this.
All right. Thank you very much, Miss Ngozi. That was really an insightful and engaging section. Your delivery was clear and impactful, and I believe we all have questions. Okay, so right now we are going to go into the Q&A um, session where we get to ask our questions based on
All
the
right.
challenges we have been facing. All right. So please, if you have any question, please drop it on the comment so that we can read it out Yeah, please, we should
Okay.
start dropping our questions so that we can she can respond to it. All right. So while we are waiting for their question, I think I have some questions here.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I have some questions here. Let me. I wrote it down. Where is it? Where is it there? Okay. Okay. So basically, we know that social media, different social medias are made for different content, right? Like when I was, when I started this social like media content writing of it, one of my mentor told me that different social media have different writing strategy or something like that. Like for Facebook is for long form, Twitter is for short form. So how do you really merge these two? Like if you are writing for a particular social media, maybe you are used to it, and then a client wants you to switch to another social media. How do you manage the two so that you won't find it very difficult? I don't know if you got the question.
Yes, I got it. All right. So what, like the
Okay.
person said, your mentor is actually right because different platform have a different way for you to tune to them. You dance to their tune. There are some platforms that are more of storytelling. Then there's a platform like
Right,
TikTok
right.
that you need to be on a trend every now and then, dancing, whatever it is that is happening on TikTok, that is what you should be doing. So for a business like let's say you have a particular business that you're working with, all you just need to tell them is, first of all, where are their audience? That is number one. Because even when you are with a client, you don't just say, "Oh, let's go on TikTok, let's start posting on TikTok." What if their audience is not on TikTok? You're just gonna be like, it looks like you're gonna be wasting your time there. So now you tell them, where are your where are your target audience? Where are they? Are they on Instagram? The people you want them to see your brand and patronize you, where are they? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Now, if they're on LinkedIn, if they're on Instagram, you will now play to the tune of it. What is the demands of LinkedIn? Personal stories, storytelling. You understand? Those are some kind of contents that um perform very well on on those platforms. And then if it's Twitter, there are some platforms that you can't type more than how many words on their platform. So you tell them so. That means you restructure the kind of content that you are putting out there. Do you understand?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hope I was
Okay.
able to
So we
answer.
have a yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you very much for that. So we have a
You're
question
welcome.
here. Sorry, I didn't get you on this. How can we get client when we are perfect in this skill? I don't
Okay,
know.
so
Did you get the question?
yes, I got the question. So
Okay.
it's more like putting yourself out there. As if you came to be a social media manager, you can't be hiding in a shell. You put yourself out there. And this comes from the fact that you of course you are learning, you're educating yourself about social media. You can use YouTube to learn. You can use HubSpot. There's a platform called HubSpot. You can use HubSpot to learn about social media. You understand? And of course, you are experimenting on your own as well. So now, after you've actually done that, you now choose a focus, like I was saying, you pick a niche as to where, okay, I'm a social media manager for coaches, I'm a social media manager for therapists, I'm a social media manager for fashion brand, maybe female fashion brand and the rest. So once you've actually chosen that, you can, because that is the people that are your target audience, you can now start connecting with them. The same way you add friends on Facebook, you can actually have friends too on Instagram. You can connect with people on LinkedIn. And once they've connected back to you, maybe they added you back on Facebook, they connected back to you on LinkedIn, then you start reaching out. You pitch yourself to them through messages. Tell them, no, I love what you're doing. I'm actually a social media manager for nutritionist. I can help you do this and do that. And then you attach like your portfolio to them, and you attach your portfolio to on their chat. And then if the person likes what they are seeing, of course, they want to go ahead with you, go on a call with you, and you explain better. You explain how you will help them according to what you say. You tell them how you tend to help their brand, how you tend to help their businesses. If you that you wanted you told them that you want to help them get more visibility, you explain the strategy behind that. If it's that you want to help them get more clients, you explain the strategy you have for them. Do you understand?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Do you still have questions? Okay, yeah, we have a question here. Please, as a brand
Okay.
owner, yeah, please, as a brand owner that needs serious work, I was able to get someone, but he's not bringing in result and inconsistent. Please, can I have a guideline or rules and regulation to set for them?
I think this question is still a bit confusing. You is it that you are the brand owner or you have a brand owner that you work with? I think I need more clarification. But either way, Sha, is it that who is not bringing in results? You as a social media manager, you're not bringing in results, or what they are doing is not bringing in results? I need more clarification.
I I think she's the brand owner and the person
Okay.
she employs is not bringing in result. Yes.
Okay. So now the point is, what strategy is the person working with? Have you also checked in on what other people are doing? Now, when you are in the whole social media space, you are not an island actually. You don't want to look like, oh, is what you think of. That is what you, yes, creativity comes into play, definitely. But then at the same time, you don't want to look like you neglect, even if you're in fashion brand, there are other people also in fashion brand are that their businesses are booming, they are doing well. So what are they doing that you are not doing? Or what is that thing that they are doing that your social media manager has not yet implemented for you? You understand? And also, there's also a case of you setting an unrealistic expectation as well too. So sometimes you might actually be demanding something that will literally not happen in a 2 weeks time frame or in a 1 month time frame. So you want to make sure that what you're also demanding, first of all, is it realistic? Two, have you checked out other people? What are they doing? Three, have they implemented your own social media manager? Has he also implemented on it? Have you given it time to actually generate the results that you want? So those are some of the questions you ask. But then you keep refining those strategies until you actually get what you want.
All right, ma. Thank you
So
very
that
much. I believe you have.
okay.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. Yeah. So I have a question here. There's another question
Okay.
here. How can I be consistent in learning this skill? How can I be
All right.
consistent in learning this skill?
All right. To be honest, it comes is the same with any other skill you want to learn. First of all, you make the decision that you want to learn that. You want to learn the skill. And when you want to learn something, have you ever noticed that you're always so excited when you want to learn something? You're so super pumped, like, oh, I believe, you wake up, it's like always a new year, new me kind of thing. You're happy, like, I want to learn this, I want to get this. But then somewhere along after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're tired. it's no longer as interesting as it's supposed to be. It's tiring, it's stressful, you're not even understanding again. And so one major thing I'll tell you, first of all, it's easy when you start, and when it gets to the middle, it looks like you don't really get it. So you really need to hold yourself accountable, but not just yourself. You need to tell somebody that you respect, that you know the person will not take it easy on you, to also hold you accountable too. And you can decide to, put some plans like, okay, I want to I want to be watching this skill or learning this skill first thing in the morning when I wake up, or in the evenings before I go to bed. I want to be learning this. I want to dedicate 2 hours of my day learning it. Maybe 1 hour in the morning when I wake up, and 1 hour in the evening once I'm maybe back from work, or before I go to bed. One of the things I do with my reading, because I read books, is the moment I wake up, I sleep with my book close to me. But the moment I wake up, I read my book. You understand? So you want to make sure that this all the resources necessary for your for your learning is close by. If it's out of reach, there's a high chance that you will not be watching it, or you will not be learning it. You understand? I make sure you can put a game to it. Do you understand? Oh, once I'm able to watch 2 hours of social media management, or practice 2 hours of social media management, I can watch a movie. Me, I love movies actually. So one of the best incentives I give to myself is watching movies. So I can say, okay, I'll watch a movie. Or maybe if you're not the movie type, you can look for other things that can, you will long for, that once you do it, you'll be able to reward yourself afterwards. Okay, if I'm able to learn something this week on social media management, I can, buy myself this particular thing as a reward. But the first thing to this learning is the intentionality that comes with it. So the first thing that comes with it, I want to learn it, and you dedicate, um, you have plans towards learning it. I want to be watching this maybe 1 hour every single day, or 2 hours, depending on how far you can stretch. I understand some of us can really have very, very busy days. Or sorry, aside that, you can have like an accountability partner that I want to learn this. And also you can gamify it. It doesn't have to be boring. You understand? You can put some things in place that will make it fun for you as well. So that way, yes, you can be consistent with learning it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah. So I have a personal question here. As
Okay.
a social media manager, yeah. So you get to meet different clients, and different clients with their different, brand voice. So as a social media manager, how do you maintain a brand voice, like across different posts? Like how do you maintain their
For
voices?
myself or for my clients.
Yes, for your clients, different client with different
Okay.
brand and all of that.
You actually ask them. See, you have a lot of questions to ask once you're actually dealing with a client, and one of it is actually their brand voice. How do you want to
All
sound?
right.
Do you want to sound friendly? Do you want to sound warm? Do you want to sound authoritative? You ask them all those questions, and you see their face. So some of them they've never posted, some they've had previous posts, and some of them will say that I want to keep my brand voice consistent. So you read it through and
Okay.
feel like, okay, they sound very professional. These people sound very friendly. These people sound very confident. These people sound very authoritative. And then you go with the flow. Or sometimes some people may actually want to change their brand voice. You just need to ask them. That means whenever you prompt, because I use GPT, ChatGPT to write my caption, but then I prompt what it's supposed to give me. So the client said they want to sound professional, they want to sound authoritative. That way it gives me, it's when you prompt it, once you prompt something like, oh, I want to sound friendly, and I want to sound professional, or I want to sound authoritative, the responses ChatGPT gives you, they are always different. You can always tell once you are reading the caption. Once you are giving, sorry, reading the responses on GPT, you can always tell that there is a slight difference in the responses, even though both of them, sorry, all three responses, they have a particular goal, but then the way they sound is different. So you will be the one to ask them.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Do we still have questions? Uh, okay. I think there's no more questions here.
All right,
Okay, okay. Okay, lastly, I have a question for you. Lastly,
all
um,
right.
I've been trying to manage my YouTube channel, and from what you
You
said,
too.
the social media manager is faced with a lot of. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
so from what you say that in social media is, yeah, I can hear you too. The social media manager is faced with a lot of tasks, designing, creating content, managing,
Yes,
and all of that. So
yes.
and YouTube is very taxing. So do you have any strategy that one can apply to this YouTube of this stuff, like how to grow YouTube channel specifically?
I've not really dealt so much with YouTube, but I can still do more research on that and probably give you an answer later on. How about that?
Okay, okay, no problem, no problem, no problem.
All right.
Okay. In the absence of questions, I think there's one other question coming. So in the absence of question and our wonderful audience, we want to really thank you so much for this insightful session you have given us. I tell you for sure that if we were to pay for this, it would be really expensive to get this value.
You're
And we really
welcome.
appreciate, yeah, we really appreciate your time and effort. Thank you very much.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate your
So,
time. Thank you very
thank you
much.
for having me.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
everybody.
yeah, thank you. So we are going to end. This is where we are going to end this section, and really thank everybody for picking out their time to be part of this section to learn from our wonderful guests. Really appreciate you
You're
guys. Hopefully,
you're
we are
welcome.
going to hopefully to see you in another section. Thank you very much. Good night.
You're welcome. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.